I think I got everyone added to the stream now, except for Ryan, who's going to be the Mr. Mystery. So for those of you that are remote, let's see if I can show the kind of setup we have here. This little TV over my shoulder is displaying everything that you guys are seeing. So the people what do we call this? Not an office. The classroom can see your faces. You can see theirs. This is meant to be a pretty collaborative class. A lot of interaction. So I would ask that you keep your mics and cameras on. I guess unless you're in person, then do not turn on your mic. And we'll just kind of go from there. So I'll kind of check through the box here. To start off, I'm going to get ahead of this now. Tonight may be a kind of boring class. It's going to be a lot of overviews, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of demos, but it's setting the foundation for everything that we'll cover the next 4 weeks over the course of 7 classes. So I mentioned boring, so we'll start off with the boringest, and that's me. So I mentioned my name's Charlie Burtwhistle. I want to give you guys just a little bit of background, and then eventually we'll go around and kind of do intros for everyone. So I grew up in O'Neill, Nebraska on a cattle ranch, burtwhistleranch.com. If you guys want to buy any registered quarter horses or Black Angus cattle, we also have some sweet merch. So that's me about the last time I touched a horse when I was about 8 years old. Then I traded in my cowboy boots for some white Vans and haven't really looked back since. I went to college at Doane University, which is a small liberal arts school in Crete, Nebraska. Played basketball there, which I shouldn't really say I played basketball. I was the GPA booster of the team is how I like to describe myself. So I was just as nerdy then as I am now. But I did get in and make a shot, which is what that picture is. And so I won't normally tell people the background of that. I'll just let them see it and think I was really cool. After that, I guess my senior year of college, I started interning at Buildertrend. So Nate mentioned they started as with one data scientist. They actually started with one data analyst intern. In fact, I think my first official title was product analyst intern because they didn't have a data science team. Luke Christensen, who is the VP of product at the time, had this kind of wacky vision for data science. And I was actually applying to be a developer. So software development is what I thought I wanted to get into. And he said, hey, your background was in math, you have a computer science degree. Do you want to give data science a shot? And I said, well, I don't really know what data science is, but sure. And 5 years later, I still don't really know what data science is, but it changes every single day. And so that's the cool thing. That's why I wanted to do this and why I'm going to continue to do this and why I think it's so awesome that you guys are doing this is because this will give you kind of, as Nate said, a straight from the horse's mouth at what data science in industry is. So I'm not a professor. I don't have a doctorate. I don't have a PhD. This is actually the first class I've ever taught. I've done a lot of tutoring before. So this is not going to be like the best teaching experience you've ever had, but I will tell you exactly what people are looking to hire and exactly what skills they're looking to learn. So just to kind of validate myself a little bit, I'll tell you about my time at Buildertrend. So I started as an intern, driving 2 hours every single day to get into work. Got hired full time and finally got the data in my title. So I went from product analyst to data analyst. And it was just me and Luke. And we eventually brought on 2 or 3 more people. We were still kind of embedded in the product team. And it was really, really just focused. Like I said, Luke was the VP of product at the time. So really, really focused on product analytics. So Buildertrend is a construction management platform. You log on a website or mobile app or things like that. So it was real basic questions. It's like, how many people are using this feature? If they use the scheduling feature, are they more likely to churn or will they continue paying? A ton of Google Analytics stuff, which I hated. But Buildertrend had made it about 14 years with never having a data science department. So they're like, wait, we can know how many people are logging in every day? It's like, yeah. They're like, wait, we can see what our growth rate is every month. How many? They're like, yeah. And so as they started to learn what sort of questions the data could answer, we went from just product questions to sales wanted a little piece and customer success wanted a little piece and marketing wanted a little piece. So as we started doing more and more data science work, I got promoted to a data scientist title, which is the first data scientist that we had. The team grew out through about 5 or 6 people. We actually split off from the product department into our own org. So it was really cool. We had sales 300 people, CS 200 people, data science 5 people, which was fun. So moved into a senior manager role. And that's when I, for the past 2 years, as Nate kind of mentioned, really kind of hit this hyper growth period of data science at Buildertrend. So over the course of the last 2 years, hired 18 different people. Every single title that people have had at Buildertrend has been the first time that title existed. So I created the data analyst, then we had to get, once they get promoted, they move into data analyst 2, set off the career tracks between data analyst and data scientist. Then my good friend Preston Badir, who also teaches a Python course here, so you may meet him sometime. He split off and started the data engineering department. I promoted managers underneath me to have data science managers and laid out what I think is a really, really cool team. And to hear Nate say those kind words about the Buildertrend data science team meant a lot. Unfortunately, I never wanted to be a manager. I wanted to be a data scientist. So when I said my recently changed titles about 3 months ago, I moved to, my title is now Director of Business Performance, which I have to think about every time because it doesn't really make sense. But that's what I'm doing now, and it's just more of an individual contributor mode. So I'm back in the, grinding out Python and Tableau every single day, which I really, really like. But I feel really, really good about the team that I built and the direction that they're heading. So that's a bit about me. I live with my gorgeous girlfriend now, who's also on the screen there, and our beautiful dog, Tebow, who I may like even more than my girlfriend. But that's what the pictures are, and Buildertrend's always hiring. They made me take this cheesy picture. Actually, let me go full screen here because the people in class, that's a little small to look at. Okay, so now everyone's seeing the same thing. So that's it about me. I got my email address, phone number, and LinkedIn if you guys want to connect. Definitely give some good endorsements for Tableau when this course is over. Like I said in my email, I sent out Slack. It's kind of my preferred channel just because I have everyone all in one spot. Slack is like the best messaging app in the world. Everyone hates it until they try literally anything else. So message me on there. Cool. So Nate already gave a fantastic kind of overview of the Omaha Data Science Academy. There's a couple things that I really want to double down on. I guess I already said double down, so we'll triple down here. You're going to learn from people that are actually doing this in industry every single day. So again, I'm not claiming to be the best professor in the world, but I am claiming to be a pretty solid data scientist with a lot of experience. And so I'm going to, exactly like Nate said, I'm going to come here and probably vent a lot of days about things that I dealt with and things that I had to do. And you guys will get a hands-on experience of what it's like in industry, because there's starting to be a couple data science majors in colleges, but they don't really know what they're doing. Academia and industry have kind of butted heads for a really, really long time. And I think it's kind of coming to a climax here, which will be interesting to see. But the
Carrie, I think that's a question. Will we have Carrie? See her waiting.
maybe.
Oh.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a good point. I guess if you guys have questions, just kind of butt in. I don't think there's a raise hand feature or anything like that. I'll try to stop and give time for questions throughout, but just pretend like you were here and just jump in. And then the other thing, so you're learning from actual data scientists. The other thing is that we're constantly looking to help each other, close-knit group. When you guys are looking for jobs or want to change careers or anything like that, post in the Slack channel and you'll have 90 of the smartest data scientists in Omaha wanting to hire you because they know the product that Nate and the Omaha Data Science Academy pump through. So that's really cool. And then you'll also I would also post in it just to learn. I go get lunch with Nate and Preston, Gordon, and Tom all the time. Every company thinks they're going through the hardest thing in the world and they're the only ones dealing with it. And how are we going to figure out this data science team? People have done it before and they want help. And now you guys have access to that. Cool. So that's a little bit about Omaha Data Science Academy. So course overview. This will be kind of our 8 weeks here. Admittedly, I'm kind of taking it a week at a time, game planning it out just because I want to get a feel of where your guys' level are, how fast we get through certain nights. So don't hold me to this, but at least the first 2 will be intro to Tableau and basic charting. So intro to Tableau, like I said, is probably going to be a boring one, but we got to lay the foundation. So it's basically going to be a really, really in-depth demo of how Tableau works. The cool thing about Tableau is they were the industry leader. They were the first to market. If you guys ever seen the Gartner Magic Quadrants, they were in the top right for a decade. So now there's hundreds of players in the game and they all copied Tableau. So I think actually Power BI may have moved above Tableau in the Magic Quadrant the past couple of years. Buildertrend's actually looking at a BI software called Domo, but they all look exactly like Tableau. So learning Tableau, you will learn hundreds of softwares all at once. So we'll kind of go through that. Real basic charting is going to be your classic kind of bar and line charts. Advanced charting, we'll get into really sexy heat maps and geography maps and things like that, which will lead us into the geospatial data. So we'll get to work with maps. So this will kind of be the first 4 here, just like how to build things. And then we'll transition into more of the data analysis. How do you analyze stuff? So how do you actually put together forecasts and trend lines and things like that? Parameters and sets and all sorts of other buzzwords. And then eventually we'll start putting together full-fledged dashboards. So this is one of my favorite quotes. How many of you guys have ever heard data is the new oil? You heard that before? No? Well, start a counter, and throughout the course of this class and the next 7 classes, count how many times people say it, and it'll be a lot. This was 2006 when people were really starting to kind of realize, like, you know, this software revolution had kind of come and gone, and people were kind of on to data. Data is the new oil is what they phrase because it's valuable, but it's not unrefined. And so you guys can read the quote to yourself here, but like the whole point of this Tableau course is how do you take the oil, how do you take the data, how do you massage it, refine it, and turn it into a useful product? And that will be kind of the same thing that any kind of career you get into, well, it's data visualization, data analyst, data scientist, kind of what you're going to need to do. So this will be kind of our course or our classly schedule. So Mondays and Wednesdays, today is Monday, it's the first one. 6 to 9 is the block that we have. My goal is to get done in more of 2.5 hours, so then we can have questions at the end and out of here by 9. Some nights will be sooner, some nights will be longer. That's why I'm only doing like 1 week at a time, so I can kind of adjust that based on how fast we get through things. But I will be here for a half an hour before every night, so 5:30 to 6, and I will stay a half hour late. So even if you guys leave, think of something in your car and want to come back, I will be here till 9:30. I can promise that. Whoops. This will be kind of the 3 sections. So 3-hour classes suck. Just kidding. This will be really, really fun, but it's a long time. And most of you, I'm sure, just got done working 8 to 5 and you went home and let your dog out and you came straight here. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the hard work it is. I'm going to try to make it as impactful as I can for you, but I also recognize that we're all adults and we have other lives, and you're taking a big chunk out of it every night to be here with me. So I'm going to make the most of it. So the 3 hours that we have are kind of broken out like this. The first section will be storytelling, which I'll get to a bit more in a second here. Then inside we'll have an overview, which will just be me talking about kind of what we're going to learn, showing you some screenshots, walking through slides. Then we'll take a break. So the first hour will be pretty easy. The second hour will be kind of the meat and potatoes of the course. So I will have a nightly lesson, and my goal is for it to be very, very hands-on and interactive, other than tonight, which for the 5th time will be relatively boring. But you guys will make sure that y'all have Tableau downloaded. We'll make sure that you have access to the data sources that we'll be using. And as I'm walking through stuff, I want you guys to follow along with me. Part of the reason that you guys all joined the stream, other than being able to see each other, is I will ask you to share your screen. We'll walk through some things together. We'll build some things together. So that will be the main kind of section of every week. Another little break, and then the 3rd hour will be hands-on. So I will give kind of an assignment, as it were, that everyone kind of does on their own time. I'll walk around, we'll share screens with people remote, and we'll build out kind of our own things for a good 30 minutes. And then I promise, there won't be like homework per se, but there will be kind of weekly assignments, which will probably take you 10 to 20 minutes to complete after every class. So basically what we learn in one night, I will ask you to go home or stay here for another half hour if you want and do one on your own without any help. And that will lead us into storytelling of the next class. So this is something I really want to emphasize. No one loves public speaking. So I apologize if this is, uncomfortable for you, but a big part of data visualization is explaining the data. And to do that, you have to be able to talk people through what they're looking at here. So I do think it's really, really impactful and important to not only be able to build a data visualization, but also be able to explain it. So with our 3rd hour assignment, I'll say, for instance, we'll give you a sneak peek for the end of tonight. Tonight will just be setting up Tableau and connecting to a data source. So literally all you have to do, you can do this in 5 minutes after we get done. Find a data source you like, connect to it, drag and drop a couple things. You can make any chart or table or anything you want. And all we're going to have you do next week is just come in and say, hey, this is where I found the data set. This is what it is. Here's a bar chart I made, and we'll move on. So it'll be 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. Depends how much you like to talk each night. So this will be the structure that we'll stick to for the most part. But again, I'm kind of making it up as I go, so we'll see. This is a pass-fail class. I am not a teacher. I do not have a rubric. I'm not going to be giving out quizzes and tests and things like that. There's going to be 3 main points that as long as you do, you'll pass this with flying colors and move on to the next one. Attendance. So weekly attendance is mandatory. However, as Nate said, you can join remote. You can join from the office or the classroom. If you are sick or your flight gets delayed, which are a couple things that already happened, these are all uploaded to YouTube. Watch it, talk to me, we'll be fine. Participation. So this is meant to be collaborative. I do not want to stand up here and talk for 3 hours and none of you want to hear me talk for 3 hours. So this is going to be really, really collaborative. All I ask is when I, ask a question, we have a couple of people that chime in from time to time, just to show me that you're listening. And then weekly assignments. I already kind of talked about that. End of every class, I'll present an assignment based on what we learned, and that will lead us into the storytelling section of the next class. Any questions before I kind of move into our actual first lesson? Anyone remote? Is there anything I could be doing better? Can you hear me? Can you see me? The slides, everything good? Set up?
Fantastic. It's going well.
Perfect. Cool. Let's go. Let's hit the ground running here. So week 1, intro to Tableau. So since we didn't have any class last week and you guys didn't get an assignment, the first storytelling is going to be everyone's least favorite thing in the world, which will be intros. So I do think that this is important. As I said, this is a tight-knit community. You guys are meeting others. Half of the benefit of this class is what you learn. The other half will be meeting other individuals taking the course. So we'll all go around, and this can be 10 seconds. It can be 5 minutes. Again, however much you like to talk. I just want your name, where you currently work, if you are employed, and what role you have, how or why you chose or found the Omaha Data Science Academy, how much Tableau or other BI experience do you have, what do you most hope to get from this class, and then the fun fact or question will be, if you could be on any game show, which would you choose? So we'll just kind of go around. It's kind of tough with the remote people to go in a circle, so I'll just kind of call people out as they're listed here. So James, you're the lucky person if you'd like to introduce yourself to the class.
Hi, I'm James Jones. I currently work for ASCOM. I'm an implementation engineer. I chose ODSA because it was recommended to me from my manager, and he said it'd be a really good program for our company to get some data visualization stuff. As for Tableau or other Power BIs, not much other than a help desk job I had of installing it. What I hope to get from this class is definitely some more knowledge data-wise. I really want to get to like SQL and Python in the future. And game show, I guess would be like Ninja Warrior, if anyone's heard of that. I think I can do that. But
Hell
that's
yeah.
it for me.
Well, James, we already had a couple people message me and say that they were having trouble downloading Tableau. So I'll just turn over the reins to you when it comes to that part of the class, and you can handle it.
All right.
Very nice to meet you, James. Ted.
Hi, I'm Ted Onheimer. I'm also from ASCOM, where I work as the VP of Clinical Data Analytics. Chose ODSA because I've been spending a lot of money with Nate and his team.
Yes, he has.
But in all honesty, I can tell them what I want, right, and all those kinds of things. But it really is kind of great to be able to do some of this on my own, but have the more complex things done through the team there. Do I have experience with BI? Yeah, absolutely. I've done it. Power BI. I've done a lot of different things even prior to the clinical data analytics. But this is just, I think, more interesting to me in that I already tell stories, but I think it's going to help me put it together so I can get what we're looking to do done faster. And that's including leveraging James and Carrie and everyone within our organization. So that's the skinny.
Very cool. So, Carrie and James and Ted are the three. You guys all work together?
Yes.
Very cool. Well, I know you guys are out at a little conference or retreat or whatever here, so I will try to sprint through tonight. If you guys promise to have a drink at the bar for me. All right, John K. John K. Can you guys hear John talking? Do you mind coming up here? Yeah. Okay. I'm actually thinking next week I may just I have an extra webcam. What I may do is just set it facing this way here. So then instead of you guys all having to log on individually, we can just show the whole course. So we'll see if I'm technically advanced enough to do that.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, so my name is John. I currently work at Navitas. It's in Olathe, Kansas. My role is a data analytic engineer.
It's a sick title. Get data
Yeah.
analytics and engineer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Why ODSA is because I want to refine and sharpen my skills and learn more. I've never used Tableau or BI experience. I mainly use JetBrains, IDE, so SQL, whatever. What do I hope to gain from this class? Again, just I want to learn as much as possible. And game show, probably Family Feud.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. Family Feud joke for it. That's a good one. I feel like so we did. I think like fun facts are the worst like icebreaker ever because at least me personally, I freeze up and I realize I've never done anything fun in my entire life. But we did one the other day with the game show thing, and I won't spoil any. I'll wait till everyone goes. But there were some really, really good answers there. All right, Brenda.
Hi there. As you can hear, I am under the weather. You guys left out a Nancy and me barf earlier. So you're welcome. So my name is Brenda Warokaranza. My current role has nothing to do with data. I actually work under the Department of Education, an agency called Nebraska Vocational Rehabilitation. So I work with students who have a disability and try to help them with just getting those like work skills. I've been doing that for it's gonna be 6 years this year. And I've noticed a lot of my role is like creating data for like reporting. And I've always asked like, where did this go to? What do you use it for? And I've noticed there's a lack of that. And I think that would help me kind of have a better idea, like, how can I utilize this? Like, really good for my team. But I do see myself going into the IT world. Because I think that'd be kind of cool to get into. And then why ODSA? Nate actually came to a class that Michelle and I were in called Code Black, and we were learning how to do SQL. And he kind of talked about the Data Science Academy, and I saw him again at it was kind of like a gala. And he kind of talked about like an interest if I had, which I did. We kind of followed up after that, and I came into this class. I haven't used Tableau as much. I've looked at like different data visualizations and data like sets, like in the Kaggle. And so like I like to play with it, but I haven't used Tableau at all. And then what do I hope to do in class? Really, just gain the skills and hopefully like also network. I think I'm one that likes to get to know people, but then also like you just never know, like the maybe impression you give someone could potentially be a job offer at one point, or maybe they're hiring, so maybe thinking of me while I made those connections prior. And then regarding a game show, um, so I'm from Mexico, so a lot of my shows I think of is Mexico, like a Mexican show. One of it's called Sábado Gigante, which means like I guess it means giant Saturday. Now that I think about it, but they used to have like different prizes for different talents. One of them I think I'm horrible at, but I think I'm great at doing is like singing, even though I'm horrible at it. But just the idea that I got out of my comfort zone. So, but if it were to be an American game show, it would be Jeopardy.
Ooh, good answer. Very cool. Well, nice to meet you. One of the things that you mentioned there was like thinking about the data collection aspect, or like aggregate, or like collecting the data that other people are using, like being interested in like what they're going to use it for. That is like one of the, once you cross that bridge, you'll never be able to go back. Constantly thinking about what people are using data for. Like how many of you guys have ever gotten one of those surveys? It's like, how likely are you to recommend this software to a friend, right? 0 to 10. That's called a Net Promoter Score survey. We have them at Buildertrend. I helped launch them. I would always ignore them. And then I was like looking at my desk one day trying to build those visualizations around it, and wished more people would answer it so I could have more data. And then I got an email from like Slack or something. It's like, how likely are you to recommend? I'm like, there's a little data scientist sitting in his corner right now wanting to build a report off this data. So then I always answer it. And then I always give a little shout out in the comments, like shout out data science team or whoever's building this right now. So I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but you will definitely think and look at data collection a lot differently after going through this course. So really cool that you said that, Brenda. Nice to meet you. Okay, Rochelle, you're up next. If you're at your desk, if you want, you can just like that, or you can come up here. I'll mute myself and here. I said it was going to echo like 7 times in my intro there, and I immediately forgot.
Hey guys, my name is Rochelle Walker. I currently work at MUD, the Gas and Water Company, in the customer service department. Why ODSA? Well, because I'm interested in data, and I was a part of the Code Black, me and Brenda and Charity, where we were learning about SQL, Python, and he came in and spoke to us about data science. And I'm nosy, so I was like, well, that's like perfect for me, kind of know what people are talking about, what they're doing, and I can even predict, what they're going to do. I don't have much experience with Tableau or BI. I hope to gain skills from this class because we have one business like analyst type at my job. So I feel like there's an opportunity for upper mobility there. And if not, then I can meet other people to maybe branch out and better myself, because I am a mother of 3 young girls. If I could be on any game show, I don't know if it's really considered a game show, but do you watch The Mole on Netflix? The Mole?
No, but I saw previous one.
Yeah, I would love to do that. The Mole, MOLE, The Mole. Yeah, you have to like figure out who is the person that's like sabotaging the group when they go on like different excursions. Yeah, I would love to do that. But hey, nice to meet everyone.
That's I may have to give that a watch now. Yeah, although it makes me a little like nervous of like why you're in this course now. If you mentioned the mole, maybe you're not actually a student but judging me or something. Okay, Carrie.
My name is Carrie Bellis, and I work at ASCOM. I'm a registered nurse. My title is clinical application specialist. Why ODSA? Because Ted spent a lot of money and heard about it, and a lot of what my role is at ASCOM differs a little bit from what James and Ted do. I'm working with those end users, and we have a software product that collects all that data. And sure, when all of that data is collected, it is awesome, but you have to do something with it for it to be meaningful. And so what I am trying to get out of ODSA is how can I manipulate and learn about this data in order to get the best results for our customers and ultimately our patients that are in hospitals? Because when we are able to learn from the data that we're collecting, we will be able to make changes and recommendations to those institutions that will like improve their patient care. Um, I don't have any Tableau experience. Some other BI experience. I have like the most ratchet experience of everything. I am like a Jane of all trades, but master of none. Like I have Googled and YouTube so many things about like Python and SQL because like you have to like understand a little bit about stuff in order to like ask the right questions. But like that's pretty much my extent. So I'm really hoping to gain some formal skills here. And I don't know if you guys remember Supermarket Sweep. That is the ultimate game show I'd like to be on. I just want to go through there and just.
So the supermarket sweep, elaborate. I'm not sure if I'm familiar.
Oh my goodness. It's like they put two people in an aisle and they say, okay, you have like a minute and a half, and they get to go through all of the aisles. And I think they're supposed to be looking for certain items, but you just like throw stuff in the cart, and whatever you throw in the cart, you get to keep.
That sounds like that sounds like the best game show ever. Is there any way to lose? Like,
I don't remember. It's been a while. I haven't had cable in like 15 years, so like, you know.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm learning a whole lot of new good game shows. Maybe the assignment for next week will be go watch Supermarket Sweep or something. But fantastic. Okay, let me double check here. I think that's all the people that we have. Okay, so Charity, I needed to add to stream. Sorry, the software is kind of weird about adding people and things like that. So we'll go Charity up next, and then we got Anna last. So if you don't mind coming up. And then I have a screen. Who wants to start dipping too?
First of all, stressful.
You got it.
Hi everyone, my name is Charity Mondi, and I currently work for Wells Fargo. My role is, they recently changed it, but they call it branch operation manager. Let me see, why ODSA? Just kind of like Rochelle and Brenda. We met Nate. He came in to our SQL class with Code Black and just kind of give us a little bit more background. And as everyone else, I was interested to learn a little bit more and get some experience in that field. I don't know much about Tableau or BI. Do have the SQL experience a little bit. Don't think I'm the best, but just a little bit. What do you most hope to get from this class? Definitely, I would say to understand the ins and outs of Tableau and just how it works. Plus, I like learning new things, so definitely I'm excited. If I could be in any show, 2 shows. Fear Factor, I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yes.
And the other one, I can't think of the name, but where you pick different letters and you kind of match and then read at the end. Yep. Wheel of Fortune.
Wow, that's kind of awesome. It's a spectrum there. So you would willingly choose to go on Fear Factor?
Yes.
You think you'd be good at it, or you just think it'd be fun?
I like adventures.
That's awesome. Gosh, yeah. And then you have Wheel of Fortune, which is like the most boring vanilla TV show ever. So,
But it looks like it's easy money.
yeah, that is all. I saw someone, I think I saw it going around. I'm on Twitter like constantly, it's my kryptonite, but the guy who got heel of Achilles, and then he tried to pronounce it, and he spun it, got $1 million, had all the letters, all he had to do was say heel of Achilles, and he said heel of Achilles, and lost $1 million.
Oh.
So for him, it was not easy, but that's cool. Those are two fantastic answers. Not what I was expecting on this pronunciation. Oh, I know. Cut the camera. All right. I forgot about Mystery Man Ryan. Ryan. Okay. Yes.
All right. Hello, world. Ryan Lawrence. Current work, I'm a one-man business. I'm a business consultant / vendor for small businesses that are scaling. My why ODSA is actually goes in my hope twos because I have a tech startup that I'm founding. And throughout the process of this, I realized that I have no experience with tech. I have no experience with building anything when it comes to the tech side. And I don't like to be in positions where I don't know how to ask the right questions or to be led astray, whether even I'm not being led astray. So what I hope to get out of this class is just a basic understanding of what just smarter questions from the development of the technology. So that way we're not running into a wall at the beginning that could have been staved off or at least avoided. Had I asked just a couple questions more, just understanding the technology. Why ODSA though is because I am a unabashed fan of Nate Watson. I tell people in the tech community I am probably the president of his fan club. Every conversation we've ever had has always led to laughs and more than anything thought-provoking conversations in general. So that's what I hope to get out of it. I have zero experience. I am literally an old dog trying to learn new tricks here. And Carrie, we dated ourselves when you said the supermarket sweep. I literally put my head back because I had so many memories watching that. Got to go for the turkeys. So that's another inside thing there. Game show, I will go generic. I will say Price is Right, but more specifically because of Plinko. The ooh and ah as that thing's going down, and then they get the zero, and you're almost laughing because they got the zero, but they're so close to getting the big money. So I will go that route. So.
I will say Price is Right may be the most addicting game show to watch ever. Maybe you guys are different, but like I never like chosen to watch Price is Right, but anytime it pops on the TV, I'm guaranteed to watch the rest of the episode. So another fantastic answer. Okay, Anna, I think you're the last one here.
Oh, I'm short. Hi, I'm Anna. I currently work for UNL, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, as a program coordinator. And my job is remote. I'm actually here in Omaha. What else? Why ODSA? I was looking into doing data analytics. And so I just started Googling. Somehow my oldest brother knows Nate.
That's
So-
the meme. Everyone, you're always, what is it, like the Kevin Bacon, 7 letters for Kevin Bacon. You're always 7 connections from day one. Or in this case, 1 or 2, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't know how they know each other, but they do. So I thought it was reliable. So I was like, okay, let's try it. I don't have any Tableau, but I've used what was it called? Monarch?
Okay.
We would pull data from reports and then use Monarch to funnel stuff. And we had to use programming language or something. I didn't know the programming language. I don't know. I clicked on things and it worked. Yeah. And then I don't know anything about data analytics or anything. So I'm starting from the bottom. And then if I could be on any game show, I would actually be on Sábado Gigante, which I think Brenda has said. It is a good show. It's not aired anymore, but it was always good.
Will we be able to find some YouTube clips or something?
I think so. The best character, I think, was El Chacal, which is the guy that would be like, you're out.
Yes.
That's who I would want to be, the Chacal.
With a trumpet. If you
Yeah.
do a horrible You're
Yeah,
on
and
the
so
speaker, you have a trumpet, and then like at one point there was like a mascot lion, and they'll say like a los leones. They would say like go to the lion.
oh yeah, they would.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you were bad, he would like trumpet you out there. Everybody would be like, "Fuera, out!" So you get kicked off. But yeah, it's a good show. I recommend.
Okay. That'll be our first reason for using the Slack channel is you have to find some YouTube clips of that and toss it in there. And then Carrie and Ryan, maybe you guys can send us some grocery sweep, or what was it called? Supermarket sweep. And that'll be our first bonding experience of these game shows. Sweet. So Nate just got back. We're about a little over an hour in anyways. So let's take break number 1 right now. Let's call it 10 minutes. I will maybe like turn my camera off. Everyone kind of turn their cameras off as they go away, and then we'll pop back in when we get back. So that's when you know when time is up. But yeah, let's plan on getting back here at 7:20. So 12 minutes from now. Thanks, guys.
So there's water in the refrigerator. Obviously, it's not cold. Couple snacks, bowls, and paper towels.
And then bathroom is right out this door.
Yep.
And Nate got in early, so it's not locked.
Correct.
Oh, for me? I'm honored. Oh yeah. I'll rock this the rest of the night.
I cut the white tag out of mine because it looks silly when you have that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Boss.
you. Good job.
This is sick. This is a cool class.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Ted and the ASCOM gang are outstanding. So.
Yeah. They sound really cool.
Water, chips. Next week we'll throw it. We'll have everything in this. We'll have this one, so we'll just unlock it and everybody can pick up what they want. But just tonight, throw it in one of these.
Okay.
And then I will come this week and swap it over, and I'll hand you that key as well.
For the cabinets.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. What am I worried about? What was I going to say? I can't remember. But yeah, the setup and everything is kind of, once I get a key, I'm going to keep the stuff here because this is my monitor, my power strip, charger, work computer, personal computer extension cord to make this all work. So it's kind of a pain bringing here. So if I could just leave that every week, that'd be sick.
Shouldn't be an issue.
Cool.
When something runs out, let them know that. Or you want something halfway through, you're like, you know what we want? Wheat thins. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just let me know if you're out of water, out of pop, out of chips, whatever. I usually have to make a run at week 2 anyway.
Okay. Check this out, Nate. I'm going to use the little banner here. Look at that.
I'm telling you, man, that software is sick.
It's cool.
And I can't believe it's practically free, and it's how much better it is than the other software we looked at that were $10,000.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
It's insane. It's kind of a trip because I'm casting from this laptop and sharing to this screen. But from the cast, I'm sharing this screen. So if I want to work, I work here.
I know.
It's casted here, which is casted there. So
It's weird. Isn't it?
it's a trip, but I'm getting it figured out.
You'll figure it out. It takes 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a company that's being developed right now.
I told them, but I'll tell you guys too. If you run out of something or need something, you have a good class, you're like, I want evidence. I want fried chicken.
I just need something, especially something great.
Big Mama?
So good as possible.
Big Mama? No. Not
Yeah,
Mama.
but
Moms.
I sell to.
So they were a Southern cuisine restaurant, 20 to
Essentially,
for long, and then closed, mommy died. Passed away.
To verify those funds,
And you know, this place, it's 3 years ago, it reopened.
well, it's
Of all the rest.
how they
It's
use
huge, like casserole,
for risk.
ridiculously good cornbread and all that stuff. It is. It's not, it's Southern comfort food, not, so not, not cake. Not so South, you don't place like that.
Essentially, they verify all the funds were there.
It is from my child. So, as a Southern child,
They
I
essentially
had to
run
bring
the
the
insurance transaction online. If they say yes,
That's
then
the
these
only
there's
reason
an
I
actual.
actually, you can post these actually.
The actual, so for the small business, it's essentially they're guaranteeing. But that money's there, and they bring it back and say.
Like I said, there is water in the refrigerator.
And then that's
But
what
it's not.
the back end, so figure it out. But essentially, verifying those funds are there. There's a-
At the end of the night, you guys all throw it in one of these cabinets here. Next week, it'll be that cabinet. We'll unlock it, so we're not gonna lose it.
And I do payrolls and all those.
All right, enjoy.
Benefits.
See you in the next
Nice
game.
nice Jack with the Tracy when it comes to that. When I pay every single one of those.
Yeah.
And you want to pay, and I realize I'm just selling them, like, I want to do all these things.
Nate, you're up.
Yeah.
All I have to be, I'll get my dog. And if you can do that, it's just like paid. So then I don't have to start selling something. I just love learning them, so.
There was nothing new, there was anything in there.
Licenses, I should say. So, yeah. Good for you. Yep. Yep. I think you're on the right path. I think then, because there's so much disruption that's coming up. I think.
Pringles are an absolutely undefeated snack. They're truly stood the test of time. Rarely do people get things right their very first try, but Pringles, they nail it. There's no need to iterate on that one.
One of my girls is literally went as Pringles this year for Halloween.
Really?
She's like, we're like, what do you want to dress up this year? She goes, Pringles. Gangster, just random throw out. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all on board with this. And so
The can or an individual chip?
can. And then I went and found some like Christmas, so she had them put Pringles on her forearms, the whole thing. And she just walked around and she was Pringles. Like, I had no idea. So now it's a thing.
That's electric. I feel like that's how old are you?
11.
That's a fantastic Halloween outfit. No princesses,
No.
or doctors or anything like that. We're a Pringles can.
I told her from day one, she's very goofy. I said, don't ever lose the goof. Always,
No.
always be a kid the rest of your life.
That's
See
awesome.
if I can get good for
Yeah, everyone, please take as many snacks as you want. Take some to go too. Nate said I have to put all those away, so the more we eat, the less I have to do.
Yeah,
Oh, that is great.
She literally put, so you know, kind of the faux, Pringles, maybe found some hands that had Christmas on them.
That's awesome.
But I just thought that was so different. Like,
Yeah.
Like she wears Christmas stuff throughout the year, like sweaters and stuff. And she's like,
Perfect.
Christmas stuff. Like
Yeah.
she leans into it. Now she's leaning into me like a college student already, like sweats every day. Like just like, she looks like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like, I had a rough night. I'm like, what are you? You're 11.
Late one. Gosh, bring her to the class. Yeah.
Speaking
She'll
of,
laugh all of us in Tableau.
he's a big dog.
I might have to.
Sure.
He-
I love dogs.
He's an anxious little guy, so I'm not sure how well he'd do, but
How old?
year and a half.
Okay. Yeah, he's hit that 2-year mark to calm down a little bit.
Yeah. So he his first year he lived with her parents. Because my girlfriend lived in an apartment when she just moved in. I have a big backyard to be wrong with us. So he has the personality of like a 1-year-old dog and like 2 7-year-old old married couple, which leads to a very kind of anxious, not really sure what to do. But he likes the backyard for sure.
I'm such a dog lover. I'll help you with them. It'd be great.
Deal. You can pet sit while we go through class.
I have an 85-pound dog, so
Oof.
dogs don't bother me one bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Like I mentioned, I grew up on a ranch, so we had we had cattle dogs. Yeah, they're awesome. Really, really like loyal and easy to train, but they were all outdoor dogs, which are far easier to take care of. You feed them on the step once a night, and they have a nice warm dog house to go into. So I had to get adjusted to city dogs. Like, oh, you can't just let them run around. You have to take them on walks and pick up their poop and things like that. So yeah, I'm learning though.
I'm a big fan of farm dogs and general ranch dogs. You know, I get that early development.
Yeah.
So used to stimulation, they're not overwhelmed by it.
All right, we still got a couple more minutes. So snacks, coffee, water, bathroom. Yeah, I liked his idea. Like if he's gonna order us Jimmy John's or something like that, I feel like we should definitely take advantage of that, get our money's worth. So maybe not next week, and then the week after I'll be in Vegas, but maybe week 3. We got a chance to. We'll decide as a group if we want Jimmy John's or Pickleman's or pizza, or maybe we'll see if we'll splurge on like Drover and get us all some prime rib or something. All right, we got about 1 more minute. So if those people are remote, if you want to pop back over to your computers, apologies you don't get to take advantage of the awesome snacks that Nate brought us, Pringles and granola bars. Sorry if that sounded sarcastic. I am thankful for the snacks. But you're really not missing out on anything groundbreaking.
I feel like I am though.
What'd you say?
I feel like I'm missing out on everything. I'm having hotel cheese and crackers right now.
I was gonna say we do have the concierge lounge.
I had to like 007 sneak it under my coat because this lady was in there and she was like giving me the eyeball like I shouldn't be taking things to my room. I was like, oh.
Oh no, they don't care. I took them.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to take your laptops with you down to the bar, I won't have any issues.
Your class might, so we'll be kind.
All right, I'll wait for everyone to get settled. This next section here is going to kind of be overview for the night. I'm thinking if we hustle, we power through our second break and just dive straight into the lesson, which again is going to be a glorified kind of Tableau demo. So if Tableau wants to hire me as a CSM or something, I'll gladly go do demos for them. And I'll have you guys kind of follow along with that part. But it looks like a lot of slides, but that's just because I was nervous about having enough stuff. I promise it'll go pretty quick.
Do you publish the slide decks?
Yep, I'll send out, just so you guys know, I'm not lying when I said I'm doing this 1 week at a time. I'll send out, like I got everything like skeletoned out for the rest of this, so I can make an adjustment. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the week 1 slides into a separate deck and send that out at the end of each week, because there'll be some helpful links and things like that inside of each one. No. It'll be quick. All right, let's dive in. So week 1, Tableau fundamentals. I talked about this a little bit at the beginning. I was talking to Nate over the break. I love the group that we have right here. And I'll talk a little bit more about why I like it so much, but we have all different roles and all different verticals with all different varying levels of experience. So tonight is really just laying the foundation to make sure we can all kind of build up at the same time. But I promise by week eight, we'll get to some really, really advanced stuff. Stuff that I'll have to brush up on, things like that. So it'll be a really cool. I said week 4, class 8. It'll be a really cool 4 weeks. But starting at the foundation, so fundamentals of Tableau, I'll walk through kind of the terminology, vocabulary, just so we're all using the same vernacular. And then first step with anything with data science is how do we get the data in there? So that'll kind of be our first goal, is connecting data to Tableau. So I put together this slide before I knew all your guys' roles and backgrounds and everything like that. Oh, let me get rid of I was showing off to Nate on how well I could use the software, and I put that little ticker up there, but we were back from break, so I'll remove that. So the cool thing about Data Viz and why it's an awesome spot to start, and I'm really glad you guys are all here, is no matter what you want to do with your career, whether it's in data science or data analytics or data visualizations or nothing to do with that, you will use data visualization no matter what. So whether you're building the reports, digesting, ingesting the reports, consuming the reports, whatever it may be, you will use data visualization. So as a kind of like proof of concept, this is, kind of the 5 different levels of people I work with on a pretty consistent basis, and the types of questions they may ask. So our CEO literally last week asked me for a report. He's like, there's a million Tableau reports out there. I never know which one to look at. They're all trying to show these things. I just want to know how many customers did we sign up and how many customers canceled every day. I want to open my computer and see that. And I was like, well, that's going to be the easiest report I've ever built, but sure. And so now he has a dashboard. He bookmarked it. He opens up his browser and he can see, hey, we signed up 500 customers. We lost 300 customers every day. So right underneath him, we have our VP of sales, and he's going to want to know, he has 5 different sales teams underneath him. Which regions are performing the best? Do we need to do different marketing in our Northeast region? How's our South region comparing, things like that, and really trying to understand, do I want to hire more people? Do I need to train these different senior managers? Do I need to hold anyone accountable? So we have dashboards that our VP of sales looks at. They're kind of a little more in depth. Then you have your sales director or directors in the case of Builder Trend. So they have a team underneath them. So that we have the Northeast director of sales or whatever. He's going to want to understand how are his team leads performing? Which one of them has the most sales? What are they doing differently than somebody else? Then you have team leads, and they're the ones actually doing the demos and closing the sales. So who has the highest close rate? Who on their team do they need to coach up? What are they doing differently? And then a BDR, so a business development representative. There are actual salespeople. At Builder Trend, we have about 200, 250 BDRs, and then we have another 200, 250 like CS people. We have 500 licenses for Tableau. We give them hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year, because when they log into Salesforce, which is the CRM that we use, no matter what account they pull up, there's a Tableau dashboard telling them how long they've been in business, how many employees they have, what type of jobs do they do. So Builder Trends, a construction management software. So are they doing new homes, remodeling, commercial work? Have they attended demos before? How long have they been in our system? A really, really cool dashboard. So they log on, and before they make the call, they know everything. Sounds creepy and big brothery, but they know everything that they need to know about that prospect. And then our CS team, alternatively, once they're a customer on the customer success side, they have a dashboard that they log in and see too. Here's how many trainings they've done. Here's what features they've adopted. We have a really cool kind of ML model that says like what feature they should adopt next. So no matter what your role is, and we have a varying group in this class, you will use Data Viz. So maybe like rewinding a bit, why data in general. So my favorite quote of all time is "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't" by Jay-Z. I say this in like every presentation I ever give. Data Viz is the gateway drug to a data-driven organization. So I say that from experience. I mentioned they never had an analytics or data department at Builder Trend, and they were a very, very successful company. So little like college senior Charlie coming in and trying to tell them, hey, you should use this ML model to predict customer churn, or hey, you can forecast out your sales this. They're like, why the fuck would I do that when I've been trusting my gut for 14 years and I've gotten to this point? But Data Viz, everyone likes. And so the kind of sneaky Trojan horse way to getting your team to, someone's trying to enter your studio, is full. Someone, if they leave, or you'd like the person to join. Okay.
That's me. I'm having a hard time trying to pay attention to people's faces, and I only have one screen here. and I can't mirror my screen to my tablet. So I was trying to log in with my tablet so I could make the screen bigger.
To be fair, I think we can. I'll boot Ryan. We're not going to be able to see his beautiful
I can log out of this
error thing anymore. Okay, proceed. And then I'll talk to Nate because we'll definitely have courses that have more than 10 people, so we'll have to solve that. But you should be good to log in now. I just booted out Ryan. So the cool thing that you can do with data viz is, like I said, kind of Trojan horse your way into getting them to start trusting data. So you just, what I did at least, is just validate the assumptions they already have. It's like, man, our Northeast region is killing it. I'm like, well, here's a bar chart that shows all your different regions. So look, Northeast is killing it this month. And they're like, oh, sweet. Can I see that broken down by rep? And then you're like, yes, you can. And then you're like, hey, look, this is actually forecasting out how many reps, how many sales reps we'll get. They're like, really? We can do that? And that's how you kind of like trickle your way down into it. So regardless of what your guys' kind of end goal is, if you want to be, first of all, the salaries Nate was mentioning are way off. We have data visualization specialists at Biller Trend that start at like 60K. So the 30 to 40 or whatever he said was, at least in my experience, wrong. So if you just want to do Tableau and be a data visualization specialist, there's a really good career for that. Or if you want to go into data science or data engineering, it doesn't matter. Data visualization is going to be their bread and butter. Even like our most advanced data scientists that like think they're too good to do data viz anymore, they'll build a really, really cool model. And then the next question is, well, how's it performing? What's the accuracy? Can we backdate and show how it would have performed? And then they have to build a Tableau dashboard to show us how it's performing. So you'll never get away from it, which is kind of what I think this next slide was showing. So the three kind of roles we have at Biller Trend and the way most companies are structured are data engineers, data scientists, and data analysts. They're kind of blurred lines between each one. But the reason I love Tableau and why Nate has ODSA set up to start with Tableau is you'll kind of get experience in each role, each kind of data role using Tableau. So tonight, for instance, we're going to learn about connecting data and bringing it into Tableau. That's what data engineers do all day, every day. You have to clean data, you have to join data, you aggregate data. So the examples, the sales example I just gave, they're pulling call center data. How many calls do we have? They're pulling data from Salesforce, hires how many opportunities and leads we have. They're pulling billing data from, we use ChargeBee, how many customers are actually paying us, and then production data, how many actually log in. So that's what we'll do in Tableau. We'll connect all those data sources. And then data scientists, they're taking all that data and they're building out forecasts and they're showing performance and they're building out models. Tableau is an absolute cheat code. You can do more advanced data science stuff in Tableau. You will in the next 8 courses than any data scientist that's like statistically trained can do if they spent 2 months on it. And it's all drag and drop. So there's a little bit of a cheat code and you should still go learn the models behind it, but you'll get to do data science work. And then data analysts, which I kind of describe as like the full stack data scientist because they do a little of both. They'll perform and analyze tracking dashboards, KPIs that everyone on that previous slide looks at. So regardless of what you eventually want to go into, whether it's a VP, whether it's a manager, whether it's in sales, or if it's data engineer, data science, or data analyst, you'll use Tableau and you'll use data visualization. So it's a really, really cool point to start. And I'm glad that we're doing it. So Tableau Public, I know a couple of you guys had issues downloading that. So we'll walk through that, but we will use Tableau Public for the remainder of this course. Why? Because it's free. So I'm not asking anyone to buy a license. There's a couple caveats I have to point out though. It cannot save locally. It will save to tableaupublic.com no matter what. If you want to save locally and you want to keep stuff private, you buy a license. So do not try to impress your boss and connect all your real data and build a Tableau visualization because it'll click save and it'll go to Tableau Public and they'll be like, why does everyone have access to our data? So the cool thing is every week with kind of our weekly assignments, you will publish a dashboard or a sheet or something to Tableau Public. And at the end of this course, you'll have 8, or if you want to be an overachiever, more dashboards. And so when you go to submit a job or go to ask for a promotion, you can show them their Tableau Public page. Like I said, I hired 18 people over the past 2 years. I looked at literally thousands of resumes. Anyone that had a Tableau Public link on their resume, I instantly clicked on it and they'd gotten my attention and I got to see what they were doing. And a lot of the times, like, well, actually, I'll just show you. their Tableau public pages were pretty like shitty. Okay, sorry, I'm 7 different screens here. I'll pull mine over real quick. Cool, so you guys can all see that. But Tableau public. I knew that they had done some stuff on their own. They understood how Tableau worked. And I'll actually sign in and show you guys what mine looks like so you're not intimidated. So I have 5 dashboards on my Tableau public page right now. So I'm also excited to build out my resume a little bit. So let's see, 2014 to 2018 NBA game stats, I built that 5 years ago. I was really just trying to mess around with getting logos into Tableau. The Office analysis, I love The Office. It's the greatest show that's ever been in existence. I think I was doing this in college or something like that. We'll see if it still works. Yeah, so average rating by season, total number of lines by character, and then the IMDb ratings by episode. So if you want to click into like a season, so we'll go season 4 here. It'll show you the total number of lines for each character in season 4 episode all. If you want to click into Goodbye Toby, which is a great one, Goodbye Toby, in that specific episode, there's that. I built this for an MBA course. Salesforce actually acquired Tableau a few years ago. And so I looked at all their financial statements. It's just, yeah, it's really ugly. I probably shouldn't have this on my public page anymore, but it got huge brownie points with the professor that I used Tableau. And then here, this I published a couple days ago, and what we'll click through for week 1 tonight. I'm also a huge fantasy football guy, and I lost 1 year, and I was really pissed off. So I built a data viz about why I should have won, and I was really salty about it. So that's mine. So that's what we'll be using. Let me go back to full screen here. The data that we'll use for most of the class examples is called the Superstore data. Have any of you guys ever heard of Superstore data? Cool. It is the, as I describe on the slide here, the hello world of the Tableau community. So for any programmers or tech people out there, hello world is typically anytime you're learning a new language, you'll print out hello world to prove that it works and get familiar with it. So Superstore actually comes shipped with Tableau. I think this guy named Ryan Sleeper, who's like a Tableau wizard in the community, built just a fake data set that everyone could have access to that looks like an e-commerce site. So if you just Google or search Superstore in Tableau Public, you get like 10,000 different visits from like 1,000 different authors. It's what everyone uses because it has just a ton of like clean, perfect, awesome data with a ton of examples. So any like Googling that you do and you see examples, it'll probably be the Superstore data, and you guys will get an opportunity to get used to that, which is cool. And then the very last kind of call out I have here, we'll get most of our data from this site called Data World, which is another awesome resource. So the kind of first thing that we'll walk through together is actually going out and downloading that Superstore data. So let me go ahead and click on this and drag it over to the screen that you guys can see. So Data World, I'm gonna have to log in on my work computer. You guys will watch me try, whoops, my different email. Actually, I can log in with GitHub. Cool. So I'll open up a new tab here. So I kind of mentioned the assignment tonight for next week will just basically be finding a data set. Data World is an open source website of really cool data sets. So right now, if I'm just like going through kind of their Discover page here, you can scroll around and see they have some COVID data. Oh, Bachelor starts tonight. If anyone's into that, my girlfriend is. Unfortunately, I'm missing it, which I'm pissed about. Joking. So there's some Bachelorette data, linear regression model data. You can literally search anything you want. This is where I found that the Office data set. I didn't go through and watch every episode and count lines. I just looked on it here. So mess around. This is a great spot for finding sample data, since you guys can't use your actual company's data since we're using Tableau Public. So if everyone has their laptop, let's go ahead and do this now. I will drop this link in the chat. If I can figure out how to do it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that link should have shown in the comments on your guys' streams. You guys see that? You may have to click on comments
Yes.
over on the right.
Yep.
Do you guys got it here? Yes? Oh, I'll drop it in the Slack for you then. Cool. Maybe we shouldn't do it now. You guys can kind of work in the background, but then it's just as simple as going and clicking the download button here. And just like that, we have the data that we'll use for the rest of this course. So if you have to create accounts, which I'm thinking you now may have to. Oh, well, let's see. Nate was just bragging about how powerful Slack is. Let me see if I can just drag and drop it in the chat here. Cool. I added it to the Slack channel. So don't worry about creating an account or anything like that. Definitely do it after class. But for the sake of time, because I promised to get you guys out of here a little early, we'll just kind of keep moving. Break. It's only been about 20 minutes. Are you guys good powering through? Yep.
You said a person were home, you want us to just select join on the gathering?
Yeah, it should be free to create an account.
So Tableau can take in CSV and Excel.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you guys noticed, I had a hat change during the last break. Nate gave me a contemporary analysis hat, and I just noticed I have a little sticker on it here. Yeah, so Tableau has a ton of built-in connectors, which we'll talk a little bit more when we get into the advanced stuff. But to start out with, we'll use mostly just CSVs and Excels. The other cool thing about it, and this kind of gets into like the data engineering aspect of it, is it will allow you to connect that data from different sources. So we could pull something from BigQuery, which is a database server that Google hosts, and a local CSV file, and join them in Tableau without having to know all the crazy syntax for SQL production stuff. We can connect to, it may even have like a data world connector, or we can connect to something I've been wanting to do for a long time, is have like a Google Drive, what's it called? Google Sheets or whatever. It can connect to that. And so then when you update data live, it automatically pulls into your Tableau dashboard. So if you want to like track something on your own, you can do that too. So we'll get into that in a bit. Any other questions about Data World, Tableau Public? Yeah.
So is Tableau, is it mainly for fixed data points, or can you integrate live data?
Yeah, so I'll do a better job of this. The question was, just so people can hear, is Tableau more so for fixed data points or live data sets? There's going to be use cases for both. A lot of like the tracking dashboards and things like that that I mentioned connect directly to our live Salesforce instance. So as soon as someone makes a sale, we have like little dashboards on TVs around the office. It pops up that we got another customer. But a lot of the stuff that we'll do today and throughout this course will be what I call kind of ad hoc analysis, where we have a data set that is in a CSV or that we found online that will do a whole bunch of analysis around, publish a dashboard, and then you're done. Like that Salesforce Tableau example I showed for my MBA course, that was from their 10Ks. I'll have to update that. But the cool thing is it can do both. Cool. I promise this won't take 50 minutes. I'm gonna, basically the goal of this section is to just familiarize everyone with the layout and UI of Tableau. Ensure we're all using the same vernacular. So some people will call them dimensions, some people will call them variables, some people will say marks, some people will say sheets. If we're all speaking the same language, this course will go a lot smoother. Let me go full screen again. Another point that I really want to emphasize is this is a data viz course, not a Tableau course. But for the reasons I talked about earlier, everyone copied Tableau. So we're teaching Tableau so that you can learn everything else. But this is not meant to be like get into the nitty gritty of like, here's a workaround in Tableau and here's how you do that. It's meant to be, here's how to build a really, really powerful bar chart. Here's how you show forecasts over time. So we're using Tableau, but it's not a Tableau course. But I promise everything else looks exactly like Tableau. And then I apologize one more time for how boring this week will be. So this is the basic Tableau layout. The 8 things will kind of be our goal for the night. And I promise that it's a lot easier than it looks. But this is where we're going to start. So I'm just going to kind of click through all 8 of these things, and then we'll actually open up Tableau and get some hands-on experience. So like I mentioned, everything starts with data. Every project you will ever do, you will land on this page. You will drag your data set into it. So for instance, the Superstore data that we just downloaded, it has orders, which again, this is an e-commerce site, so we get to see all of their orders they have. People are like their employees that work there, and then returns obviously is people that return the data or return the order. So you can see I have 3 tables over here. I just brought orders in. Now I'm good to go and I can start working with it. After that, we have the data source versus sheet. So in the bottom right here, there's basically 2 UIs in Tableau. You have the data that we just talked about here, and then as soon as you're ready to start messing around with it, you go over to sheets, and you never really think about your data again. So the rest of the UI will look exactly like this every single time that you're building anything. But if you ever need to go back and forth between the 2, those are the differences. Dimensions versus measures. So every single data point that you bring in will be sorted into either dimensions or measures. So dimensions are discrete variables. So I don't have to make up examples. City, countries, customer names, a date that the order happened, which could actually be continuous, a product name. So it's things that you're going to group by. The measures are the things that you're going to aggregate. So if I have down here, we have discount, profit, quantity, sales. If you're wanting to look at the sum of sales or the average discount, those are going to be measures. So those are what you're going to aggregate, and you're going to group them by dimensions. So we'll get a little bit more detailed into that later, but that's kind of the vernacular that we'll use, is toss a dimension up there or grab a couple more measures. But that's kind of the highest level definition of the 2 variables. Any questions on that? Okay, and like I said, we'll actually come back and double click on that one here in a bit. But then you have columns and rows. This is probably the most, I guess, easy to understand because it matches exactly what you'd see in Excel or a CSV or just everyday life. Right here, I'm showing by category the sum of sales. And notice how I have category on the rows. So here, each row is a category, right? Really, really easily, I could flip-flop those. And now I have categories on columns. And same thing, sum of sales. And so I'm just showing them a completely different way. So when I will talk through the course and I'll say, hey, will you drag a dimension categories onto the rows? You know what I'm talking about there. And then let's aggregate a measure sales on the columns. That's what brings it out across the different columns. The Show Me tab. So this will be your best friend for the next 8 classes here. Tableau is really, really, really smart, and it will show you all the possible different chart types that you can build. So for instance, right here from the last example, I have categories on columns. I have sales on rows. If I click Show Me, it will show every single chart that I can build with just those 2 variables on it. So they're the ones that are colored. Everything that's grayed out, I can't build. However, if I hover over it, it will tell me, hey, you need 1 or more measures, or someone will need 2 or more measures. It will tell you, hey, if you want to group this or see this chart, you need this variable on here. To this day, after 5 years of working in Tableau, I don't know how to build a bar chart in Tableau. I know what data I need. I drag it on there. Then I go Show Me. I click the pie chart, and it automatically builds it for me. There's a lot of things on here that if you just asked me to start from scratch, I'd be like, I don't know where to go from here. But I can go over here. I Show Me, and it's an absolute cheat code. So really, really cool. Then there's this is another just annoying, again, we're just getting all the annoying vocabulary out of the way now. You have sheets, dashboards, and stories. So when you're building a chart, you'll build it in a sheet. It will be exactly what we were just looking at here. This is one sheet. It has one chart on it, one chart to a sheet. Now, if you want to bring multiple charts into one, you use what's called a dashboard. So here, and I'm glad I'm not like presenting so I can mess around with this. I have a dashboard here that has sheet 1 and sheet 2. So this is just where I switch the rows and the columns here. I drag multiple sheets onto dashboard 1, and you could have 100 different sheets in one dashboard. You could have one sheet in one dashboard. It doesn't matter. That's how you can combine multiple tables together or multiple visualizations together. And then stories is the kind of like bottom of the hierarchy, I guess, because you can drag multiple dashboards in there. So stories have, I guess, what they call story points. If you just want to click through and build out kind of exactly what it sounds like, story. You could have sheet 1 on the first kind of tab here. You have sheet 2 on the second tab. You have dashboard 1 on the third tab. You have dashboard 2. So I'd say maybe 90% of this class will just be building sheets. But in the end, as we start getting more complicated, we'll bring multiple sheets into a dashboard. So as you hear me kind of talk through those, that's what I'm referencing. Marks. So the marks is this little box to the left of your sheet. This is how you start to kind of customize it. So you can see here, I drag category onto the color. So now furniture is blue, office supplies is orange, technology is red. Super simple. And then I also dragged sum of sales onto the label. So now I removed kind of the y-axis that I had and just tossed it right there. So this is an ugly chart, but it is how you could start to customize it a bit. And we'll get into some of that in a bit and start, you guys can mess around with it. All right, then number 8, the very last thing is filters. So right here, I drag region onto the filters. And now you can see over to the right, I'm only looking at the central and east region right now. And this is still showing the sum of sales. So before, technology for every region was showing about 800,000. For the central and east, it's only 400,000. So these will be kind of the 8 main things that we'll use for the rest of this course, at least the first half till we start getting into some more complicated stuff. But that's about it. So let me pull up Tableau and just show you guys kind of what that looks like. So I just downloaded that Excel file. Let me start from scratch, actually. So I open up, except I need Tableau Public. I open up Tableau. This is where I land. If you want, once you're connected to Tableau Public, you can just grab stuff directly from there. But to start out with, I'm going to use Microsoft Excel. In downloads, I just downloaded and sent in the Slack channel the sample superstore data. All I'm doing is double clicking it. And now I'm on that first screen that I showed you. This is, as you can see down at the bottom, the data source tab. If I want to click over the sheets, I can. But I start with data source, and I'm going to bring in orders. So all you do is double click. So far, we have double clicked 3 buttons in a matter of 10 seconds. We already have our superstore data that we will use for the rest of the course. If you didn't have Tableau and you were trying to do that without Excel, you're trying to pull from a server and put into a production database, you need a data engineer with 10 years experience. And we were able to do it in 2 seconds here. So let me keep walking through the demo, and then we'll pause for about 10 minutes, and then we'll kind of walk around and make sure everyone can do this. So now that I have my orders in here, I click over to sheet 1. Now I have my dimensions right here and my measures down here. So I don't think we really need to go through and describe exactly what these all are, because you can kind of use your intuition. But in the examples I was using, I think I was going by category. So you can drag that over to rows, and then you can drag it off literally anywhere to get rid of it, or you can just double click it. If you want to keep with the double click thing, it automatically populates there. So now we have our rows And again, this is a dimension. So this is what we're going to be grouping by. So we're grouping by category right now. Now, in order to pull in my bar or my line or anything like that, I need a measure. So what are we trying to measure? Profits, quantity, sales, discounts. My examples, I was using sales. So we'll drag that right up here and I have a bar chart. Again, without Tableau, you'd have to use like Matplotlib or Plotly or some gross, annoying programming language. Even the charts in Excel leave a lot to be desired. We're 30 seconds into this demo, and we can already see that most of our sales come from the technology. Now, we don't have to stop there, right? Let's say, well, I don't really like this bar chart. What else can I make? So I click over to the Show Me. Some of our executives are really, really stubborn and don't like charts. They're like, I just want to see my table in Excel. If you want to do that, sweet. We'll click into a table here, kind of anticlimactic, but now you see it in a table view. Okay, Charlie doesn't know how to do pie charts. Let's click on a pie chart here, and I already made one. So you look at this. I'd have to drag something onto some sort of angle mark that just popped up, and then a size mark and a category. Like a second ago, angle wasn't even showed there. So how was I supposed to do that? Which is why I never actually build pie charts. I just click on Show Me. Say I want to build like some area chart. It says, okay, well, I need a date. And a dimension or one or more measures. So let's go back to this. Let's pull in order date here. And now I can see, oh, now area charts pops up. So let's click on that. And now I have an area chart. So you can see why I described it as a cheat code, because even I just admitted I don't know how to build pie charts. So we should learn, and we will learn how to build all of these throughout the course. But that's why the Show Me tab is so powerful there. It's a really, really good habit to get into naming all of your sheets. It's one that I don't follow. But here we'll just say this is sum of sales by category and date instead of sheet one. Now say I want to create another sheet. I just click new worksheet here. Now I have my first one here. I have another sheet here. Let's just Mexico country region. We're not to maps yet. Let's go product name. Add them all. Sum of sales. And let's sort them. Okay, so now Canon image class 2 advanced copier. Hell yeah. Everyone loves a good copier. So that's our most sold item. Say we want to color it by what we're using over here. Category. Let's pull categories over here. So now you can see those same categories that we have earlier, what our most popular things are. So now we have sheet 2. We'll call this sum of sales by product. And now we want to combine them together into a dashboard. So we were working in sheets. Now we're working in dashboards. I drag this over here. I drag this down here. And now I have my first ever dashboard. First ever dashboard. Now, say I want to walk a client through this, or I want to walk an executive through this. We have this we have 50 different sheets, 50 different dashboards. We'll create our first ever story. Say we want to start by walking them through, hey, here's what our sales are doing over time. So we'll call this sales over time. It's made up of one sheet. Let's add another story point. Here's our most popular products. It's another story point. And then we'll lead them up to the conclusion here where we have our dashboard. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Oh yeah, I'm sick. So I know that was fast. That was just meant to kind of be the demo. But let me pause for a second and ask if you guys kind of have any high level questions. Otherwise, we will work on kind of walking through this together. Cool. So who does not currently have Tableau Public downloaded? Anyone else? Okay, let's it's actually very easy. So if you just go to Tableau Public, you will have to create an account. But once you do, it should be pretty straightforward. You'll go to download Tableau Desktop Public Edition here, and then you'll just click download Tableau Public. If you guys already have Tableau Public installed, go out to the Slack channel and download the, I don't know why my face is so aggressively large, the Superstore data that I just dropped in there. Once we have those two things, that is all we need. Is everyone able to get to the data? Yes. Were you able to get it downloaded? Gotcha. Gosh, is there any way to like raise hands? Banners, brand, private chat. Is there anybody, I guess, can I just get ask me to hold on? Does everyone else have Tableau Public downloaded and the data set downloaded?
Yeah, and the first sheet built.
What was that?
I said yes, and the first sheet's built.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Anyone that is struggling with either one of those things?
Mine's still verifying.
Gotcha. Okay. We're gonna keep ticking along slowly here. Charity, if you want, next break I'll pop over and we can get you caught up. So I guess I kind of already showed how to do this. And as somebody mentioned, they had already worked ahead. But is everyone able to, when they open up Tableau, click Excel, and drag orders onto there? Was everyone able to get to that point? Maybe a better question, is anyone not able to get to that point? Cool. So for the sheets here, let's just kind of mess around and make a few different charts. So I already kind of showed the real basic bar charts and things like that. Tableau has this really cool way of telling you what each one of these data points is. So ABC, if you see right here by category, let me make my screen big again. That just means it's a text field. If you see this sphere, that means it's a geographical field. So city, country, postal code, state. The really, really cool thing about that, and again, we have a whole week dedicated to this, is you can just double click on these things and it automatically plots it on your map. So it knows the lat long of every single state. And say you wanted to see sales by each state. That's all I had to do was get this map colored by different sales. So you don't have to worry about bringing in any shape files or geographical files or things like that to map where the lat long is on the map. Tableau knows already. So mess around with that a little bit. Anything with a little calendar here, is a date. So you can drag that over here. You can see by default, it's showing years, but you can click the little plus sign. Now you have quarters, click the little plus sign. Now you have months, click the little plus sign. Now you have days. Again, we'll just kind of keep working with sales. So now we can see the sum of sales by each date over time here. Let's get rid of that. So we got the strings, the geographical, the dates, and then anything a number sign is a number. So down here, these are all numbers. I think that's pretty straightforward. Let's just look around at some of the other data we have. So let's see what shipping mode is. So we can drag that onto rows. Looks like we have first class, same day, second class, standard class. Say we want to look at the total number of sales for each one of those. So most of the stuff we do is standard class. That makes sense. Let's see what region is. Whoops, cancel. See what region is. Central, East, Southwest. That makes sense. So something cool that we could do, and again, the next like 10 minutes or so, we're just going to be kind of playing around, getting comfortable. So if you want to follow around my examples, feel free. If you want to mess around on your own things, feel free. But one of the charts we just built was state, right? So we clicked, we double click state, we drug, let's go sales onto like a label maybe. Now we can see the number of states or the number of sales in each state. And then we just saw region. So maybe we drag that onto color. And then there we go. So now we can see our different regions colored to easily kind of find which one we're talking about. Say we didn't want to denote them by state. Region is sales. Region is not a. Oh, so I'm trying to use a map and I don't have a geographical field on there, right? It's ABC. So Tableau no longer knows what I'm talking about. So we can bring state back on there and then it's able to plot them. Let's say that we made a, what was I doing earlier? Category in sales. So now anytime, I guess I should have called that out. Right now it's still stuck on a map because I had manually changed it to that. You could go up to the show me and click your little bar chart there. Or you can click right here and click bar chart. But you can see I have category on the rows. I have sum of sales on the columns. If I don't want to go through and drag those around like this, Tableau has this really nice pivot feature that just automatically swaps them for you, which is really nice. If you want to sort them from highest to lowest, there's a nice little sort. That's descending order, that's ascending order. Let's say we want to bring in a second column. Is that them all? That's maybe too many. Let's bring in country / region. Let's bring, yeah, we can do that. United States, that's boring. Region is what I was looking for. Yeah, so if the question was, and actually, do you mind sharing your screen? So this is something I'm hopefully we'll do a lot throughout the course. Normally, if one person has a question, everyone else does too. So I'll ask you guys to kind of pop your screens up and we'll just walk through them together. The question was, I think, if you have a map, how do you get the numbers to show up? Whoops, there we go. Perfect. So right now, Rochelle has clicked on the state, which is why Tableau is able to see everything mapped out there. So you're wanting to show the sum of sales on the map. So go ahead and drag sales from from the measures, yep, over to the label, little square in the marks. So drag it right on top of where it says label there. Just there you go. Yep. So just like that, we've now labeled every single state and what their sum of sales is. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions? Like I said, the goal of this part is really just get familiar with the UI and the layout here. So try a ton of different things, and when something doesn't work, raise your hand, and we'll walk through it together. Has anyone tried making a dashboard yet? Whoever's the first gets to be lucky enough to share their screen and show everyone. So, Carrie, were you able to get it down? First time it was the data's original slow. Sweet. So you go ahead and don't lose. Sweet. So now I feel free to start coming this down there. I'm seeing a lot of pretty maps, a lot of pretty bar charts. Nice little red bar charts and around the colors. Is there a problem? No. But you can make your, you can kind of make your sheets. So Tableau itself doesn't have a dark mode. We'll get to that a later week. Too much at once. But we can mess around with this to make it look like dark mode. Actually, yeah, John, I saw that you just had a pretty cool dashboard. Do you mind sharing your screen? So I was just kind of walking around the class here, and John had, I don't know what it was, but it looks sweet. So I'm going to have him pull that up. Sweet. So what do we have here? So go ahead and let's go to sheet 2. So we have a nice little, what is this thing even called? Tree map.
Tree.
Very cool. So I have used some tree maps before. Basically, the size of each square there is whatever looks like the sum of profit. So you can pop around and see that looks like we're grouping by, see, the colors, the quantity, the shipping mode, postal code, and year. So all sorts of cool measures that we're splitting this up, which is why there's so many different squares. But the only two, so many different dimensions. The only two measures we have is the sum of profit and sum of quantity. And then let's click over into sheet 1. Cool, and real basic map here. I like the kind of area bubble. So a symbol map, I think it's called in Tableau, as opposed to coloring the whole state. It looks like you're looking at specific postal codes. And we got the size of the discount by each one, so you can easily look for the biggest square. And then can you click on show me again just to get rid of it from the side of your screen? In the top right, just click the show me button. There we go. So now we can see that the colors are the sum of profits. So dark blue is a high profit, and orange is a really, I guess, a negative profit. So this one is actually pretty interesting because the bigger the bubble, the more discounts we're giving. So if you look around and look for the biggest bubble, you'll notice they're all orange. And we can see from the color chart that that is the sum of the profit, which means that they're making negative money. They're losing money. So even just like clicking around, John uncovered a pretty cool, maybe it seems logical, but he already found it in the data, is that if you're giving out a ton of discounts, you're not going to make a ton of profit. So really easily are able to see kind of which zip codes are the biggest offenders of that. So maybe they're doing kind of regional sales discounts. Sign up now, get 50% off. Maybe they shouldn't be doing that because they're losing money. Whereas it really, like hover over that one over in the Northeast. Are you able to see that dark blue bubble? Yeah, so I don't know what zip code that is, but it looks like that's their biggest profit that we're able to see just from this map here. And you can see that it's dark blue and very small, so not a whole lot of discounts, ton of profit. Anyone else have a cool chart that they've accidentally put together that you'd like to share? Anna, no? Okay. No pressure. All right, John, I'm going to have you stop sharing your screen. Can I get one more volunteer to pop their screen open real quick? Rochelle? Oh, yeah. Oops, I think I have to. Sweet. So we got another little map. We're labeling it, looks like the regions and the state. Nice. Very cool. Let's go. And then the sheet 3 is region and state. Okay, I like how you did that. So all the states are easily, let's just go to sheet 3 for a second. So here we can easily see the 4 different regions broken up across the top: central, east, south, and west, which is a really cool way to, if we're looking at states, kind of view them all distinctly of their region. So if we didn't have the region in there to break it up, we'd look at California, and that's obviously the biggest one across them all. But in the east region, we can see, actually we can't, can you hover over that orange or that red bar in the east region, the tall one? So we got New York is the tallest one there. We can see Texas is the biggest one in the central region. Then Washington is a deep second over in the west region. So it's a cool way to kind of break them out. Go up to right underneath where it says server. You can see those two sort options at the top. Yeah, right there underneath that. Let's click one of those, either one. So now you can all see that they're sorted in ascending order. So now instead of having to pop it around, let's go ahead and click the one right beside it to the right there, Rochelle. Now they're in descending order. So now every single state is organized by the most, let's see, count of orders, which is really, really cool. So Rochelle already figured something out that I didn't talk about. If you left click on count of orders there, Rochelle, you can see let's see, click on, I should say measure. Sorry, maybe don't right click on it, just click on the arrow.
You should just left click on it?
Right, yeah, left click. Whoops, sorry. Escape out of that. Or just click somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I left click on it.
Let me see here. Oh, so you just showed that. So I was a little off on what Rochelle did, but it's even cooler than what I thought. Down here at the bottom, actually, you want to stop sharing your screen? I'll go back to mine. Thank you. You'll see here's kind of our normal, right, dimensions here and our normal measures here. And then at the bottom, you see like measure names and orders count. So this one is just the total number of rows in the data set. So if you didn't want to group by, or if you didn't want to aggregate any of these variables, you just wanted to see the count of the order. So that it's kind of confusing. The sheet name is orders, right? That's what we just brought in from our data source. And now we're just saying that's what this little variable is showing here is just orders count. Cool. So I'm going to pull back up the deck here because there's a couple more things I want to get through, and I want to get you guys out of here by 8:30. So the good news is the assignment for next week is basically what we're just doing right here, except I'm going to ask you to find a data set that's not Superstore. So whatever you guys just built in the 5 minutes that you're playing around here, that's how long the assignment will take for next week. So a couple of you guys had mentioned that you'd worked with SQL before. The cool thing about Tableau is it allows you to do some real basic SQL stuff in a drag and drop manner. So I'm not going to get super in the weeds. This is not a SQL course. It's not a data engineering course. We will be using the basics of basics. So I'm not even going to like really get into this, but basically in SQL, there's different types of joins. An inner join means you want to return everything together. Does Rochelle have some experience? Am I bringing back nightmares? Yeah. So the good news is Tableau will make it really easy. I can promise you that. So I'd ask that you maybe brush up on these a little bit, but if you have never even heard of them or don't know what I'm talking about, it'll make more sense in the example. But the only ones we'll ever really use are inner joins and left joins. So these are the two that I highlighted here. It's like I said, 90% of the time, we're just going to use inner joins and left joins. So inner joins is if every row in one data set, we expect to have a corresponding row in the other data set. So they're all going to match up exactly. So in this example here, I'm showing table 1. It has rows 1 and 2. In table 2, it has rows 1, 3, and 4. So the only ones that we expect to be in both is one. And so the inner join joins up on one. The left join is where we have a data set. And again, I'll get to an example in a second. We have a data set that we want to keep everything from table one and only grab the matches if they exist in table two. So here in table one, we have 1 and 2. In table 2, we have 1, 3, 4 again. So a left join to bring in 1 and 2. Again, this isn't a SQL course, so I'm not going to get real deep into that. I have links to where I've got both these graphics if you guys want. They're both excellent resources. I use W3 Schools all the time. And Data School I'd never heard of, but it had a beautiful graphic. So when I send out the deck, if you guys feel like you need to catch up on this, which I don't think you will, because I promise Tableau makes it easy, check out those 2 resources or come half an hour early next week or on Wednesday. And I'll brush through those. So how do we use joins in Tableau? If you guys have your Tableau still open, we're going to go back to this data source tab. So again, it's in the bottom left there. That's how you switch between sheets and data sources. We're going back here. You can see that we have our orders table here. We're going to go ahead and double click into that. Now we can see orders is made up of one table, orders. So we got some like inception going on here where we're getting deeper down. But is anyone not where I am at on my screen right now?
Can you do that one more time?
From the remote portion of this, FYI, it's a little difficult to follow along and have this screen up.
Gotcha. Yeah. That does make sense because you're having to switch back and forth there. I will try to take some breaks in between where I'm walking through this so you can flip back and forth, and I'll show something and have you try it, and then we'll go back and forth. Thanks for bringing that up. So if we click into data source and then double click into orders, were you able to get to that spot, Carrie?
Yeah.
Cool. So now we're going to try a join. Again, we're pretty familiar with orders. We just messed around with that a lot. In people, and I know this because I peeked ahead, but you guys could click around in the Excel to understand it if you want. Basically what people is, let's actually just pull it up real quick. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. One second, maybe. We have too much going on in my computer right now. Well, what I guess, here we go. Go back to data world where I grabbed it. All people is basically, it's just the sales people that are associated with each region. So you can see we have Anna, Chuck, Kelly, and Cassandra, and they each have the region that they're assigned. So why is this useful? If we have orders here and we drag people on here, we can see that it automatically did an inner join for us. So we didn't have to do anything, and it was smart enough to know that region equals region. So now if we click on that, we can see it has region equal to region, and it's an inner join. And if we want to scroll over on our data, you can see we now have a new column called person that is assigned to each region. So now we had a separate data set. We drag it on here. It's really easy. Now we can go over to sheet 3, and you can now in Tableau see that there's tables. We have orders right here with all of our orders data sets we're just working with. And now we have people here, which have 2 new columns, person and region, although region is the same thing. So now we could join people over here, or bring people over to rows and bring sales to the columns. And now we're able to see by person from a separate data set who has the most sales. I'll pause there for a bit so everyone can try that out. Did anyone have any difficulties joining up that data source? Yes. Let's go. And now, no, that's the people table. So go ahead and double click on words on the left. And then you should go to your drag and drop. Yeah. Yeah. No, you don't even have to do that. Yeah. I got some bad it's all over. I got tripped up in the string book that's kind of sorted out. Yeah, I need some notes on it. Well, I still know how to do it though. Cool. Anyone remote having issues with getting this join built out?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. There's a couple things. Let's see. I think I may actually save the rest of this for next week. There's, let's see, 5 more slides here. But I think everything that we've covered so far is enough to kind of get us off to the races. I don't want to overload night 1. So we're going to skip our last break because I think this will just take kind of 10 seconds. We've kind of been doing the hands-on the whole time. So we downloaded the Superstore data, connected it to Tableau. We joined the data appropriately. We built several sheets. If you guys built a dashboard, doesn't really matter. It's pretty easy, just drag and drop. The very last step that I want to cover before we get to the assignment, which was basically, like I said, doing the same thing, is uploading to Tableau Public. So once we have whatever we want built out here, so I have my first ever dashboard. Notice as soon as I click save here, it is going to pop up and say Tableau Public sign in. So this is where we'll type in got it right first try. Yeah. We'll call this. I put a test out there originally, week 1 reel. It's going to publish all 6 of my views. And now it popped this open. In Tableau Public, I have this dashboard that I just saved. That was the one I was looking at. If I wanted to see all my different views, I would go settings and it'd say show sheets here. We click that. And now you can see all the different sheets that I had in there. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where you cannot save this just on your computer. As soon as you click save, it will publish to Tableau. So I'd ask that everyone maybe try to click save real quick, and let's get your first dashboard out on Tableau Public. We can delete them later, like I should have done with some of my old ones. So we're not embarrassed by our first ever Tableau sheets. Let me see. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and hit definition there. So I think we just go ahead and just double click orders again. Yeah. Over the last. Yeah. And then,
Should we change the one?
I think that should be fine. Go ahead and double click on that. And then go over to people. Okay. Now let's go back to your sheets. There you go.
So just go ahead and save the dashboard.
Yep, if you hit save, it may prompt you to log in, which will just be your Tableau public credentials. Anyone else having any issues saving and publishing to Tableau Public?
I saved it, but it's blank.
Ooh, okay. Can you go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah. Sorry, I have to go to the next. Okay, so I saved it, and sorry, I have to go to like. When I saved it, this is what came out. Can you see it?
No.
Okay, let me. There we go. Is it showing it now?
I don't think so. Is this Brenda talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could just be user error on my part.
I'm gonna try to do it again.
Let me remove that, see if that helps.
Okay, I should be able to do it now. Is it?
Oh, yep, I got you here.
So it just says week 1. And
so go ahead and scroll up and click on settings, that little cog wheel on the right, and then click show sheets. Let's see if that. Click on sheet 1. Okay, go ahead and can you open up your desktop app for me?
desktop app. Oh yeah. I think I have to stop sharing and
Okay.
It wouldn't for some reason. Sorry. It is harder in the remote. I'm trying to do it and it doesn't let me. Okay. It's not letting me share. Why? Share my. I'm gonna just make sure I share my entire. Can you see my screen?
No, I cannot.
It doesn't let me.
While you're pulling up that, Brenda, show of hands for people in the class. How many people was able to publish it? 1, I think. Let me pop over here. I'm gonna walk around for 1 second. How about remote people? Was anyone able to publish? Ted got it. No. What's popping up for you, Carrie? I saw you shake your head.
It takes me a minute to get used to like the format of Tableau, so I'll have to figure it out when I have a little time to like look at it.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's what night 1, Carrie, you wrapped it up beautifully, is all about just getting used to the layout and format of Tableau. So,
It's hard when we're traveling because we're mostly working off of 14-inch tablets because they're convenient for the airplane.
right.
But, when we're in our home office, we all have dual or triple screens and
Yeah.
makes it easy.
I know my world is ruined right now.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I came up with Nate last week to test out the setup and everything. I just had my laptop and I was like, no, this definitely isn't going to work. So you should see all the cord. I brought my own extension cord, own power strip, own monitor, and everything in here to make this work for me. So we'll learn.
Apparently our company does not allow Miracast. So like I'm trying to like use my tablet as a second screen and I'm like, well, this is garbage.
So I'm going to use I'm going to use the TV in the hotel room and set that up for next Wednesday as my second monitor.
That's sweet. That's a very maybe the coolest second monitor ever. Yeah, 1 second.
Is this how small it's going to be?
Yes, go ahead and click the first one. There we go. So then this is, by default, it just publishes the trash stuff. Then whatever sheet you're on, you click save. And you click that little cog wheel. Yep. For settings, and you click show sheets. It should pop up. Now you can see all the different sheets that you have.
Okay, and it's okay that it, like when I click on right here, it doesn't preview it.
Yeah, I think, let me see, we might have that. Let me actually look into that and get back to you. I'm not sure if that's something that does by default. You have to change something, but I'll follow up there.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, I'll be around for the next hour if you guys need, but I'm going to close this out. Oops, I need to share my screen. Because basically everything that we're doing right now is the assignment for next week. So this will not take 20 minutes. This will take 5. The goal for between today and tomorrow, Wednesday, for those of you traveling to conferences, work is more important than this class. You don't need to take time to do this. But I would like if people would come to next class with a new data set. So throughout this course, we need data to do anything or any data science. So the first assignment is really just getting you used to finding different data sources. And then just do exactly what we just did. Click around, build a couple bar charts, build a map if you have a geography field in there, build a line chart. Doesn't matter. Just show that you found a data set and connected to it. And we'll be off to the races. So this is kind of if I were to distill it down to a set of requirements, find a data set, download it, connect Tableau to the data set, look around what columns are dimensions, what are measures, are these all accurate, what do they mean? Just kind of get used to the data set, build a few charts. Again, they don't have to be beautiful. Just click around, mess around, get used to it. And then I'm going to ask, I don't know if we'll go through with everyone, but at least 3 or 4 people to share their screen, just like we just did. Talk about, well, the data set I'm using is from the office. I found it on Data World. There is a list or a table of lines. There's a table of ratings. Here's what they're used for. If you want to talk around, there's sales, here's quantity, whatever. And then we'll look at the charts. So it's not a presentation you don't have to prepare. It doesn't have to be beautiful. I'm just asking you guys to do exactly what we just did with some different data. So here's a great spot to get started. I mentioned Data World. I'm actually going to drop this same link in the chat. So if you guys want to get started now, I'll do it in the Slack channel since that seems to be easier for everyone. If you click out to this sample data, it will have right here, sample data, business. There you go. Number 1, Hello World Superstore sales, right? Here's 2014, Inc. 5000, fastest growing private companies. Entertainment, here's Netflix. If you guys are into sports, here's some FIFA, Wimbledon, NFL. What's up?
I was trying to follow along. Can you do that one more time? Are you cool with it?
Yeah, so I just I shot the link in the Slack channel.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So there's a whole lot of different things here. You can see you can just download. I would try to do one that's Excel or CSV. But the cool thing is at the very bottom here, they have other data sets. So you can click into literally any of these. You can see here's Data World. That's the one we were using. I think someone mentioned they'd messed around with Kaggle before. Kaggle's another great spot. There's actually, if there's any Redditors out there, there's an entire subreddit just called datasets. And it's constant. There, people are constantly posting just here's some cryptocurrency stuff, World Health, Facebook. So mess around, find something. If you guys don't find anything you like, make your own in Excel. Doesn't matter. But again, the whole point is, can we download data, connect it to Tableau, and build a chart? So that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do for next week. Any questions on kind of the goal or the assignment or what we're going to do? Cool. I will stick around on stream. So remote people or in-person people can ask me questions. Otherwise, if you feel like you have a good understanding and are hypothetically at a conference and want to go down to the bar, you can. Completely hypothetical. Thank you guys very much for a great first class. I hope that the rest of them will be a little more exciting, but again, we kind of had to lay the foundation. If there are questions, I prefer you ask in the Slack channel in general, because it probably means, or I guess not general, the one I created for this class. I guarantee if you have a question, everyone else does too. So we'll get the conversation started there. And otherwise, I will see you guys Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. It's been fun.
See you guys soon. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but again, I'll stay on for a while.
Cheers.
I still had questions, if you don't mind. So when I was looking at back at the Tableau Public, it states that it had like an exclamation point, and when I hovered over it, it says, now that I do that, now it doesn't show up. It says something about like the data set is something, but now it doesn't show me. But it's something about the data, like it's not existing anymore. So I don't know what I could have done.
Gotcha. If you go back to like the Tableau app, do you see like, are there still charts and stuff showing?
Yeah. So like, you mean on like the sheets that I did?
Yep.
Yeah. It's like faded. That's what it looks like. It's still
Gotcha.
there, but it's like faded information.
Yep. So
Yeah.
click on your data source tab.
Okay.
And then do you still see the orders table?
Yeah.
And then if you click inside of it, do you see, is it just made up of orders, or are there orders and people there?
Orders and people are on there.
Gotcha. Okay. And then are they joined? Can you see like if you hover over it, does it say inner join?
Yeah, they're interjoined. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So now click back into one of your sheets. And is the data still grayed out?
So one of them, and now it's not showing anything. The other one is faded still. So
Gotcha.
now it's in computing layout, but nothing comes out of it. So I'm assuming that because of the, I guess, the inner joins, that's what is becoming the issue. Am I right to say that?
Yep. So let's go ahead and, gosh, do you mind trying to share your screen again? Let's see if that works.
Let me try again. For some reason, like when I do the app, it doesn't like see it as an option. So I'll try again. So, because it only gives you the option to entire screen. So that's what I was doing originally. And when I share it, it says like Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's okay.
I mean, I can come to early on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'm better.
Yeah.
And work with you on that. But then I can kind of figure that out with you.
Okay, that would work. Or honestly, like this could be a classic case of just like turn it off and back on again. We're not really that far in. If you just want to close out and start over, again, just double click the data set, pull it in. It'd be good practice, and I bet it'd probably work. We must have just got something crossed up. If this was something that we'd been working on for like 8 weeks, I would take some time to try to recover it. But I bet we could just start over and it would work.
So to hear you right, just restart the sheet. So then if I saved it, but there was nothing on it, I can just delete it, right? And then just recreate a new one. And then with that being said, just make sure that I publish it or save it, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Anyone find any cool data sets yet? Oh, there we go. That's the important thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Of course. Cool. So go ahead and print that. Yeah. So that's what I think some other people are have the same thing happen. So I'm gonna have to look at what you need to do to get the preview to show. Yeah, so go ahead and scroll up and click that little settings cog on the right and click show sheets over there. Sorry, I was learning. I should go with the sheet too. And now, let's see, is that one?
Well, I deleted the first one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I think now, I really like the truck this week. Let's go save. And it should. Oh, yeah. Save. Nice. There we go. So is that go back to your temple, I really like that chart. Is that just a normal chart there? Or is it all scattered? We have the sum is the size of the bubble, so it's like it does kind of good. Yeah. The accidental arbor
Another question, how do we, is there a user way to kind of determine, if it is under orders or like columns or rows, how do we?
What the dimensions and measures.
Yeah, so dimensions, it's actually kind of weird in Tableau Public. Let me show you guys. So this is my.
First one was just like, we have to need one more.
Yeah. So this is my work computer. So let me open up like actual Tableau desktop. It's really weird, and I've wondered for a long time why it does this. Okay, so this is some real data. Oh, I should probably stop the broadcast. Doesn't matter. Or I guess it doesn't show it in mine anymore either. So it used to actually say dimensions and measures over on the left, and it doesn't anymore, which is annoying. But anything on the top, can you guys see how there's kind of like a line split between, yeah, well, orders and people, but then even, yeah, in between here, There's a little gray line. Everything in blue is above it. Everything in green is below it. So measures is the stuff on the bottom. And I guess if you ever so measures anything that you're trying to measure sales, measure profit. Yep. I'm actually going to stop the stream real quick. Let me make sure I do this right. I think we can end the broadcast that stops recording. Well, I guess Brenda left, so all of us are in office now anyways, in broadcast.